Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Anniversaries and the latest edition of Blue and Gold Illustrated. I'm staff writer Andrew Owens here with senior editor Lou Simoji. And Lou, today we're going to go back about 15 years to October 2nd, 1999, back when Oklahoma came to Notre Dame Stadium with first-year head coach Bob Stoops. Notre Dame trailed in that game 30-14 and eventually won 34-30. And Lou, what was the main reason behind Notre Dame's comeback?
Well, we talk about with the dual threat quarterbacks, and Jarius Jackson is one of the more underrated dual threats in Notre Dame history. In that game, that he propelled the comeback to a 34-30 victory by becoming the first and still only quarterback to pass for at least 200 yards in a game and also rush for more than 100 yards in a game. He completed 15 passes for 276 yards, and he also ran 15 times for 107 yards. And you know, sometimes we wonder, is Everett Golson capable of something? We know he's easily capable of the 200 yards passing. You can do that in a half many times there. But he had 56 yards rushing against Purdue last week. He had a 74-yard rushing game against Pitt back in 2012 during that triple overtime comeback win. So that's one of those records that you look at and see who can do that next. I don't know if Brian Kelly would want him to run that frequently in a game or anything, but that would be an interesting one to go after.
Maybe if he breaks a 70-yard rush or something.
He'll take that.
Yeah. Do you think that's a performance that maybe gets lost in the shuffle sometimes because that team finished 5-7?
Sure, it definitely does. He broke Joe Theismann's 29-year record for most yardage passing in a season. He ran for nearly 500 yards, and they lost a lot of tough 40-37 type games, similar to Jimmy Clausen in 2009. You know, he put up all the great numbers and everything, but lost, and it was the fact that it was one of the worst defenses at the time in Notre Dame history, and they lost a lot of games. He also, a couple weeks later, engineered a comeback against USC. They were down 24-3 at home and ended up winning 25-24. So that's what happens many times, and sometimes I have a pet peeve about that when they call a quarterback a loser, like Jimmy Clausen or Jerry Jackson, because, well, he never won. Well, you know, Joe Theismann can win games 3-0 and 10-7, which he did his senior year, and everyone is Theismann for Heisman. And then Notre Dame loses games where the quarterback plays outstanding, and then suddenly that guy is called a loser. Paul Hornung wasn't a loser in 2-8; he won the Heisman. But I think that's the perception sometimes.
A good reminder that context is always needed in the fabric of college football.
Right, absolutely. And a context of Oklahoma had fired 3 coaches in a span of a decade before hiring Bob Stoops in '99. So everyone goes through those ebbs and flows in college football career.
There you go. And Bob Stoops is still around in Oklahoma, and a lot of people think they'll make the college football playoff this year.
Yeah, they're a front runner for sure.
All right, well that does it for us. We'll see you again next week on this edition of Anniversaries with Blue and Gold Illustrated.